at Xavier, was there back in the early 2000s, then was at Arizona, now back at Xavier. His 20th season overall as a collegiate head coach with a career coaching mark of 486 wins against 195 losses. The mark at Xavier is 184 and 86. In the backcourt is Davion McKnight, a 6', 180-pound grad student from Shelbyville, Kentucky. Began his collegiate career at Western Kentucky. McKnight is averaging 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Joining him in the backcourt is Ryan Conwell, a 6'4", 215-pound junior transfer from Indianapolis and began his collegiate career at Indiana State. Conwell is averaging 17 points per game along with 3 rebounds and 2.5 assists. The third guard is Marcus Foster, a 6'5", 215-pound grad transfer from Atlanta, Georgia. Began his collegiate career at Furman. He transferred in from Furman, averaging 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. At a forward spot is Dalen Swain, a 6'8", 220-pound sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, averaging 10.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 3 assists. And in the middle is Zach Fremantle, 6'9", 227-pound grad student from Teaneck, New Jersey, out of Bergen Catholic, and is their leading scorer, a little over 17 points per game, along with 7 rebounds and 2 assists. The Texas Longhorns, 19-15, out of the Southeastern Conference, and coached by Rodney Terry. Now in his 3rd season as the head coach at UT, his 13th season overall as a collegiate head coach, with a career coaching mark of 225 wins against 192 losses. The mark at UT is 62 and 36. Starting in the backcourt, Tremont Mark will run the point. He's a 6'5", 200-pound grad transfer from Dickinson down in the greater Houston area. Began his collegiate career at Houston, and then at Arkansas, Mark runs the point for Texas. Now he's averaging 10.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Joining him in the backcourt is Jordan Pope, 6'2", 175-pound junior transfer from Oakley, California. Began his collegiate career at Oregon State. Pope is averaging 11 points per game, along with 2 rebounds and 2 assists. The third guard is Trey Johnson, 6'6", 190-pound freshman from Garland. Trey began his high school career at Lake Highlands High School, won a state championship there his junior year before finishing his high school career at Link Academy in Branson, Missouri. Johnson, the Southeastern Conference Freshman of the Year, is the Longhorns' leading scorer, averaging 20 points per game along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. At a forward spot is Arthur Kaluma, 6'7", 225-pound senior transfer from Glendale, Arizona. Began his collegiate career at Creighton, then at K-State, before transferring in this year to Texas. Kaluma averaging 12.5 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. And in the middle is Caden Shedrick, 6'11", 231-pound grad student from Holly Springs, North Carolina. Began his collegiate career at Virginia. Shedrick is averaging 9 points per game, along with 6 rebounds and 2 block shots per game. The officials for this NCAA tournament matchup are really well acquainted with a couple of the guys. The crew chief is James Breeding, and he is assisted by Terry Oglesby. We know him pretty well. Christopher Merlot is the third assistant. As we mentioned, neither side wearing white. Xavier in as the technical lower seeded team is wearing navy blue jersey tops and shorts. It has Xavier, Xavier, in white block print capital lettering across the front with a white numeral beneath it. Player's name spelled out in white block print capital lettering on the back of those navy blue jerseys, and a large white numeral on the back of the navy blue jersey tops, navy blue shorts, white numerals, lettering, and trim. Longhorns chose to wear the special edition burnt orange jersey tops, burnt orange shorts. Texas, an off-white cream-colored script across the front with an off-white cream-color numeral beneath it. Player's name spelled out in white block print capital lettering. We're ready to go. Happy you joined us. We're underway with the NCAA tournament. The Longhorns control the tip. Tremont Mark has it as Xavier opens in man-to-man defense. Mark to the left side on the dribble, drives to the left side, pulls the dribble back out. Tremont flips a pass off to Jordan Pope to the left side. Pope driving on McKnight along the baseline. Now pulls it back out to Mark again with 10 on the shot clock. Here's Tremont trying to drive in, working against Ryan Conwell. Throws one up off balance. Thought he got fouled. And the rebound to Xavier. Musketeers with it. Their first possession outside. Firing up a 3. Missing it deep was Marcus Foster, and the rebound Jordan Pope, and Pope streaking down the floor, goes around McKnight, drops it into the trailing Tremont Mark, who scores off the glass.
Excellent job, Mark, running the floor, getting the bucket. Good start.
Longhorns score first. They lead 2-0, just underway. Bounce pass over to the left side to Swain. Up top to Zach Fremantle. Now he leaves it for Ryan Conwell. Off in the corner to Swain. A three-pointer off the back iron. No good. Rebound loose on the floor. Swain came up with it. Then it's loose on the floor, and it got kicked around. They're going to call a kick ball against Texas. So it will be Xavier Ball on the baseline with a fresh 20.
Craig, the one thing I'm concerned of, you hear a lot on transition. This team is shooting 47% from the field, 38.8 from three, and 79.4 from free throw. This team can shoot the ball.
On the left side is Conwell. Leaves it outside. Thinking about a three was Fremantle. Doesn't shoot it. Goes into the paint. Turns with a jump hook. Missed it off the back iron. Rebound Caden Shedrick for Texas. Off to Trey Johnson. Into the front court. Trey on the left side. And coming out to greet him is Marcus Foster. Drives past and threw it up off balance, however, and missed it. And the rebound is Foster for Xavier. Musketeers into the front court. It's McKnight. Davion McKnight to the right side. Off to Zach Fremantle. Now to Ryan Conwell. He'll send a pass into Fremantle. Turns in the paint. Dumps it underneath. And they're going to get a foul underneath against Texas. As the Longhorns are blocking the shot, the foul is on Caden Shedrick, the first foul of the ball game, and it will be a shooting foul. So on the line for Xavier is Dalen Swain, an 83% foul shooter. He's hit 93 out of 112 this year, and as Eddie told you, they shoot about everything very well. First one, off the back iron, no good. They are a 79% free throw shooting team, but the first one is off the mark. So the second one to come for Dalen Swain. D-A-I-L-Y-N for Dalen. Dalen Swain, second one also no good, and Trey Johnson clears the rebound for Texas. Longhorns lead 2-0. Into the front court is Jordan Pope. Drops it now to Arthur Kaluma, off to Tremont Mark. Weaving back to the right side is Pope. Had to get away from Fremantle, overplaying to the left side to Mark. Calls out a new play. Mark on the left side. Bounce pass to Caden Shedrick, trying to drive in on Zach Fremantle. Using his body against him. Spins, turns with a jump hook, left it short off the front iron. Rebound Musketeers. Xavier with it into the front court. Marcus Foster on to the left side. Foster drops it off now to Ryan Conwell, trying to drive in on Tremont Mark. Bodies up against him, spins around him and scores.
Yeah, good job of spinning to the bucket. Both teams are playing really tight defense.
2-2 the score. Mark on the dribble. Over to the right side. Guarded by Conwell. Now on the switch, picked up by Marcus Foster. To the left side. Here is Mark driving into the paint. Had a pass knocked out of his hands. He thought he was fouled. There was no call. And here comes Xavier into the front court. On the dribble is Dalen Swain. Over to the right wing with it. Davion McKnight, and an offensive foul on a moving screen. And it was on Fremantle, who picks up his first. And the first foul against Xavier. Longhorns will inbound the ball. 2-2 the score. And it's inbounded to Jordan Pope. He works it into the front court. Does Pope to the right side. Up top. Now Pope again on the right wing. Left hand dribble. Bounce pass coming off a screen. Johnson rises up for his first shot. Missed it. And went out of bounds. And it'll still belong to Texas. With a fresh 20 on the shot clock.
Trey Johnson saying he got bumped, and he did. The lower body contact. We're seeing that a lot when they're guarding him.
Inbounded to Johnson, now trying to drive into the paint. Spins, turns, leans in. Left-hander missed it, had his own rebound, then lost it. The rebound pulled down by Davion McKnight. Into the front court, McKnight to the right side. Conwell, a three. It's good. Ryan Conwell hits that. He has scored all 5 Xavier points. That's the Musketeers' first lead at 5-2.
Not only you got to get back, you got to locate shooters. They score in transition. They show threes in transition.
Come on, Mark on the dribble to the left side for the Longhorns. Mark swings it to Kaluma. Driving around Conwell. Off the glass. Gets the bucket in one. Kaluma with a big drive to the bucket. He'll have a free throw to come. The foul, I believe, is on Conwell. That's his first. So now Tremont will go to the foul line. Mark this season, 75%. He shot 83% in conference play. Caden Shedrick checks out. And on to the Longhorns for the first time is Jason Kent, 6'8", 215-pound grad transfer from Oak Forest, Illinois. Transferred in from Indiana State, averaging 5.5 points, 3 rebounds per game. So Kaluma, 78% from the line, 80% in conference play, and he completes the old-fashioned three-point play. So the game is tied at 5, 3.5 minutes into the action. On the dribble and into the front court, Davion McKnight. Into the front court with a bounce pass to Ryan Conwell. He's guarded by Tremont Mark. Swings to the right side, weaving, back with a pass to McKnight. Now Swain steps inside the arc, trying to move in against Kalum in the paint. Turn around, left a one-hander short, and the rebound for Texas is cleared by Trey Johnson. Into the front court, Johnson angling from left to right, looks, picks it up, bounce pass underneath Kent, posting low against Fremantle, goes up against him, no good. And boy, did they think a foul should have been gone. It would have been a second on Fremantle instead. In transition, driving in, and they're going to get a blocking foul called on Jason Kent back in transition. So Kent will be called for the block, his first, second foul against the Longhorns, and we have our first official timeout. 15:58 remaining in the first half, just getting going here in the NCAA First Four in Dayton, Ohio, with a score Texas 5, Xavier 5. This is the NCAA tournament on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
That's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy. Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This broadcast of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship is authorized under broadcast rights granted by the NCAA through Westwood One. It is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the NCAA and Westwood One is strictly prohibited. 15:58 to go first half, just getting underway here in the NCAA First Four game between the Texas Longhorns and the Xavier Musketeers. The winner to move to Milwaukee to take on the Fighting Illini at the University of Illinois on Friday night. Eddie Orton, I have a question for you. Didn't we all hear last week that teams in the SEC would have to adjust because NCAA officials called the game tighter, less physical than the brand they used to play? What I'm seeing here, I'm seeing three what should have been called fouls, one against Texas, two against Xavier, that went uncalled here.
Yeah, there's a lot of bumping and pushing out there. And you look at this Xavier team, especially their perimeter guys, they're very strong. They get downhill, but they use their body physically to get separation.
Xavier has hit 2 of 6 shots over the ballgame. Longhorns 2 of 8. Inbounded pass and a three-pointer up, and that's good. Knocked down by Dante Maddox Jr., who had just checked in. 6'2", 200-pound grad transferred in from Toledo. He's from Chicago Heights, Illinois, and he shoots 40% beyond the arc. So Xavier back in front, 8-5. Longhorns make substitutions like Kendall Weaver driving to the bucket and scoring off the glass.
He impacts the game as soon as he comes in.
6'3", 180-pound junior from Mansfield Timberview began his collegiate career at UT Arlington. Kendall's averaging 6 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. 8-7 Xavier, who played almost 5 minutes. Over on the left side is Swain on the dribble and flips a pass up top to Zach Fremantle. Fremantle on the right wing to Davion McKnight. High dribble, sends a pass deflected by the Longhorns. Weaver deflected it. Trey Johnson has it, drives in, and he's fouled, and they're going to give goaltending. They'll review it. James Breeding called the foul. Terry Oglesby followed up and said that's goaltending. So they're going to review it, but I believe as Trey Johnson went up, he'll get credit. Oh, yeah. This is going to be goaltending. While they figure that out and review this, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Live from Dayton, Ohio in the NCAA tournament, you're listening to Texas Longhorns basketball from Learfield. After the review, I believe they did call it. They did call the goaltending. So Trey Johnson gets his first bucket of the evening. And the foul's on Davion McKnight, his first. Xavier's substitution, they also have Jerome Hunter on the floor. 6'8", 225-pound grad student from Columbus, Ohio. Began his collegiate career at Indiana, averaging 6 points, 3 rebounds per game. And for the Longhorns, Zarek Onyema on for the first time. Onyema, 6'8", 235-pound senior out of John Jay High in San Antonio. Trey Johnson left his free throw short. Rare for Trey to miss that, 89%, and the rebound to Xavier. Texas leads 9-8. We played 5 minutes. Into the front court, Dalen Swain goes around Onyema down the lane and scores off the glass.
Well, that's too easy. We got to come over and stop the ball. He did a great job of getting that first step, but he finished with no traffic.
Xavier 10, Texas 9, 14:40 to go first half. Kendall Weaver on the right side trying to drive in. Can't do it. Leaves it now. Mark fires along. Straight on three, and Tremont drains it. Mark shot 37% beyond the arc in conference play. Texas back up 12-10. At the top of the arc, Jerome Hunter leaves it now for Davion McKnight. McKnight with a bounce pass, broken up by Onyema, and a mad scramble. Coming away with it, Kendall Weaver. He hit the floor and flipped the pass up. It's picked up now, off to Trey Johnson. Driving, pass Swain, down the lane. Foul going up for a slam dunk. Trey will be on the line to shoot 2. If that foul is on Fremantle, and that's his second. So Zach Fremantle just picked up his second foul. He'll have to come out, and John Hughley the fourth. A 6'11", 270-pound grad transfer from Cleveland, Ohio. Started his collegiate career at Oklahoma, did Hughley. Averages 3 points, 2 rebounds per game. He will replace Fremantle. So here's Trey Johnson. He missed a free throw a moment ago. He's an 89% foul shooter, shooting 2, and that's more like it as he knocks down the front end. They'll have one more. Jordan Pope back on the floor. Tremont Mark gets a breather. Caden Shedrick checks back in. And for the Longhorns, Arthur Kaluma gets a chance to catch his breath. Second free throw for Johnson. He missed that one. Well, that's odd, missing 2 out of 3. I haven't seen him miss 2 out of 3 in a game all season.
Absolutely. I've never seen him miss it.
13-10 Texas. And Xavier with the basketball. Hughley drops it off. To the left side is Conwell. Flips it back across the floor to Marcus Foster. Into the right corner is Jerome Hunter. In the lane now. A jumper up off the mark. Soaring for the Texas rebound. Kendall Weaver. Into the front court is Weaver. Right side. Driving. Down the lane. Through traffic. A finger roll good.
Wow. He impacted this game just coming in.
4 points off the bench. Texas up 5 at 15-10. Hughley, top of the arc, holds up the basketball for Marcus Foster. Foster with a bounce pass to Hughley, trying to bump in to shed it, using his body, throws it up, missed it, and Caden Conley collects the rebound. Into the front court, here's Johnson on the right side. Trey backing out the dribble to the right wing. Now goes into the corner, he'll fire up a 3, good! Trey Johnson knocks down the three-pointer. The Longhorns now lead it 18-10. Texas on a 9:01 timeout. Xavier will take it as well. 13:09 remaining in the first half here in the NCAA First Four. It's Texas 18, Xavier 10 on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Ma, is this how you feed a hamster?
I think so.
Is my homework right?
I think so.
Is, this milk still good?
I think so.
When it comes to parenting, sometimes it's okay to think you know. But when it's something as important as your child's car seat, don't just think. Know. Double check if your child is in the right seat for their age and size. It'll help protect them in a car crash. Don't just think. Know by visiting nhtsa.gov/the right seat. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
With championship golf, world-class tennis, great family experiences, and the Spieth lower 46-hole par 3 short course, the UT Golf Club is all about Texas tradition. Visit the club or log on to utgolfclub.com for more information, where champions play. Texas on a 9:01 in under 90 seconds to open an 8-point lead on Xavier. The score is 18-10 Texas, 13:09 to go in the first half. Sean Miller calling the timeout, Eddie Orrin. And what he's seen the Longhorns engineer, and it really extrapolates out to a 13-2 run over 2 minutes and 26 seconds. The Longhorns have hit their last 5 shots, and not only that, what Rodney Terry talked about, transition defense, are getting back, and they're getting into their flow in their transition offensive game.
Texas is pushing the ball. They're not getting the layups, but they're pushing the ball, and they really have got this Xavier defense on their heels because they're pushing and they're coming back and attacking in the half-court sets.
The Longhorns had hit 2 of their first 8, but like we said, they've hit their last 5. So they're now 7 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 3 from three-point range, 2 out of 4 from the foul line. Xavier 4 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 beyond the arc. They've missed 2 free throws. Xavier is an 8-7 edge. The rebounds, the turnovers, 3 for the Musketeers, 1 for the Longhorns, and they turned it into a 3-point play. So Xavier inbounds out of the timeout, and it goes to Hunter. Up top now to John Hughley. Leaves it up for Dante Maddox on the right side against Pope. He'll shoot over him. A 3-pointer. It's good. Maddox has hit a pair of threes. And that ends the Texas run. It trims the Longhorn lead to 5 at 18-13.
Well, you can't get under him, go under the screen, and he doesn't need a lot of space to get the shot up.
Kendall Weaver has it guarded by Dante Maddox. Now Arthur Kaluma back on the floor for Texas. Drops it off to Trey Johnson. Johnson on the right side. Down into the right corner. Driving baseline. He lost the dribble. Now it's popped up. Longhorns got it back. Shedrick has it. 5 to shoot. He fires up a 3 and hits it. Shedrick, who, by the way, shot 50% beyond the arc in SEC games, knocks that one down. Texas up 8, 21-13. Conwell, top of the arc, flips a pass inside the Hunter, floats with the right hand, left it short. Johnson had supplied the defense, and Trey clears the rebound for Texas. Into the front court. NBA range 3. No good off the rim, but Shedrick runs down the rebound and bounces it off of Conwell out of bounds. It'll remain Texas basketball after the official timeout. 11:59 remaining in the first half. The Longhorns up 8. It's Texas 21, Xavier 13. And Longhorn basketball from the NCAA tournament in Dayton, Ohio continues in a moment.
At St. David's Healthcare, we talk a lot about being the best. It's not just talk. We show it through innovation, hard work, heart, and of course, victories. St. David's Healthcare is proud to be an official healthcare provider of Texas Athletics. And as UT Athletic Director Chris Del Conte would say,
The best is here, and together we are changing the world. Hook 'em.
With so many distractions in life, are you finding it hard to focus on the present? Constantly looking down instead of looking up? Feverishly trying to capture the moment instead of taking it in? Feel Free by Botanic Tonics can help. The calm, relaxing effects of kava root, coupled with other plant-based ingredients, make for the perfect balanced boost to help keep you in the now. Discover the magic of plants with Feel Free. Texas fans can save $40 on their first order with code BEVO40. That's code BEVO40 at feelfree.com.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
Oh, we can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Port, Chicago, Illinois.
Mike Coulter back in studio with this WinStar World Resort Studio report. One earlier game in Dayton tonight as part of the first four taking place in the East region, a matchup of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference's Mount St. Mary's and the Patriot League's American. It was Mount St. Mary's with a hot first half, shot 61% in the first half, en route to an 83-72 win. So Mount St. Mary's, the Mountaineers, get a matchup against number one seed Duke in the East region on Friday afternoon. Mount St. Mary's led by Jetty Cordelia and Dola Adebayo, both with 22 points in the victory. They improved to 23-12 now on the season. NIT action, couple of Texas schools in action right now. North Texas hosting Furman. Right now, North Texas in front, 58-52, under 8 minutes to go in the second half there. And SMU on top of Northern Iowa at home, 27-25, 4:36 and counting down in the first half of that matchup. So far, pacing the way from the Mustangs is Chuck Harris, who's got 7 points. SMU looking to pick up their 24th win of the season. Let's send it back now to inside UD Arena in Dayton, Ohio for more First Four action with Craig Way and Eddie Orn. Guys?
Mike, thanks very much. Longhorns shooting 53%. They've hit 8 of 15 shots. Xavier 5 out of 12. They're 3 of 5 beyond the arc. So too are the Horns, who are 2 of 4 from the foul line. Xavier 0 for 2. Rebounding edge to Texas 9-8. The turnovers 3 for the Musketeers, 1 for the Longhorns. Texas a 3-0 edge in the points off the turnovers and a 10-4 edge in the points in the paint. Texas will inbound the basketball, and it'll be Jordan Pope to inbound for Texas. Tremont Mark back on the floor for the Longhorns, and Julian Larry's checked in for the first time. Pope having trouble getting the ball inbounded. It was kicked, so they'll reset to 20. Julian Larry, 6'3", 185-pound grad transfer guard from Frisco, north of Dallas, and began his collegiate career at Indiana State. We heard from him in the pregame talking about his old buddy Ryan Conwell, who plays for Xavier. Julian averages 5 points, a rebound and a half, and 3 assists. It's inbounded from Jordan Pope to Tremont Mark. Mark, a left-hand dribble toward the top of the arc, trying to drive into the paint. Does. Throws it up with a left hand. It rattles home.
Boy, good job of collecting himself. He got bumped, but he collected himself and never took his eye off the rim.
Longhorns have a 10-point lead, and Zach Fremantle, even though he has 2 fouls, is getting ready to check back in for Xavier. Out front, goes to Conwell on the dribble. Guarded by Tremont Mark. Flips a pass, coming off a screen. Maddox driving into the paint with a jump stop. Kaluma knocked the ball out of his hands, but James Breeding saw the foul. He called a foul. So Kaluma picks up his first, and it's a shooting foul, so it's going to send Maddox, an 85% free throw shooter. He's hit 56 out of 66 this year, and he's going to the line to shoot 2. Texas up 10, their largest lead of this first half. Here's Maddox with a pair, and the first one is good. So Zach Fremantle, with 2 personal fouls, checks back in for the Musketeers. He'll replace John Hughley the 4th.
Well, it's a risk putting him back in, but it tells you a little bit they got to have him on the floor. They feel like this game is creeping away from them.
Second one is good for Maddox, who has 8 of Xavier's 15. Texas leads by 8, 23-15, 11:28 remaining first half. On the dribble is Tremont Mark into the front court. Mark picks up the dribble now and locates Julian Larry. Back to Mark with a bounce pass high on the left wing to Shedrick. Sends it into Kaluma, and he was bumped. 2 guys fall down. Nothing is called, and the rebound comes to Xavier. The lob it into Fremantle, and he lays it in.
That's the transition bucket you got to avoid.
Musketeers back within 6 with 11 minutes remaining in the half. It's 23-17. Now you hear the fans, a lot of them that made the hour's drive from Cincinnati up here for this one. At the top of the arc is Tremont Mark on the dribble, drives in the paint, and he's fouled. And James Breeding on the call says that foul is going to be on Conwell, I believe. That's his second.
Well, it could have been either one of those guys. Yep. He split the defense, and both guys committed contact.
Julian Larry checks out. Trey Johnson at a brief rest. He's back on the floor for Texas. A non-shooting foul. Longhorns will inbound on the baseline. Up 6 at 23-17. 10:49 remaining first half. Inbounded to Arthur Kaluma on the left side. Kaluma puts the ball on the floor, dribbles to the right wing. He's guarded by Marcus Foster, driving against him off the glass, and got fouled. And this time, the foul was on Foster. That's his first, and Kaluma will be on the line to shoot 2. So now, Kaluma back on the line. He hit a free throw earlier in this half to finish off a three-point play. So Arthur will have 2. Deep breath for Kaluma. Rotates the ball around the hip. Puts it in motion and knocks down the first of 2.
Craig, you're seeing teams do that. What they're doing, anytime there's a dribble drive, the team will screen the help side. In other words, they'll come up and screen that help side guy, and it just gives them a clear avenue. We saw that in Tennessee game.
Here's Kaluma. The second one for AK is good. 5 first half points for Arthur Kaluma. Longhorns back up 8. 25-17. 10:38 remaining first half. Marcus Foster on the dribble to Zach Fremantle up top. Fremantle one dribble coming off a screen to Davion McKnight. Now a cross-court pass to Maddox. Trying to drive in on Mark. Can't do it. Back to Fremantle. Once more again to Dante Maddox Jr. Drives into the paint. 10 on the shot clock to Fremantle. He nearly lost the dribble. Got it back. Turns with a jump hook and missed it. And the rebound, pulled down by Caden Shedrick for Texas. Into the front court is Jordan Pope. Pope behind the Shedrick screen will use it to fire up a 3, and he drains it. Jordan's first bucket, and the Longhorn lead is 11 at the midway mark of the first half, 28-17.
Well, they went under, and he pulled up, made them pay for it.
At the top of the arc is Foster. Flips it to the right side. Now to Fremantle. One dribble from Fremantle off to Davion McKnight. Right side. Now to Maddox. He's left open to shoot a 3. No good. And this one goes to the top of the backboard. So the Longhorns will get it back. But, boy, you can't leave that guy open, as we've already seen him knock down 2 3-pointers.
No, you can't. And the one thing I've noticed is, as much as Xavier wants to get up and down for it, once they get in a half-court set, Texas is speeding them up. Their defense is really speeding them up. As a result, they miss some shots.
Inbounded from Arthur Kaluma to Tremont Mark, who crosses the half-court line now, working against Ryan Conwell. Driving on, rifles a pass in the corner. Trey Johnson, shot fake on the 3, goes for first side to lay it in. Trey with 8.5. Texas up 13 with 9.5 remaining in the first half.
Good spacing, the ball movement by the Texas Longhorns.
30-17 Texas. Driving into the paint is McKnight. Leans in against Pope. Got the bucket in one. He leaned into Pope, caught him in the jaw. And Jordan's going to get called for the foul, his first. So it'll be an and one situation.
Well, I thought he drug his right foot. And Rodney Terry's motioning, walking as well.
Zarek Onyema back on the floor for Texas. Jordan Pope saying he leaned into my chin to Christopher Merlot, who made the call. So now, here's McKnight shooting the free throw, and he misses it. So it's a 30-19 lead as McKnight got the bucket but missed the free throw, and he was an 81% foul shooter. 9:10 remaining first half. Here's Tremont Mark driving in the paint, lost his balance and called for traveling. Falling down to the right, and it'll go back over to Xavier. Musketeers will inbound. Pope will check out. Kendall Weaver back on the floor for the Longhorns. 9 minutes, 6 seconds remaining first half. Texas in front 30-19. Into the front court for Xavier. Swing on the right side, trying to drive in now to the baseline. Trapped there, got rid of it out front of McKnight. Shot fake on the 3, trying to drive to the baseline. Now out to Fremantle. Sets his feet, shoots a 3. Missed it too long off the back iron. Rebound pulled down by Conwell in the paint, and he'll score off the glass. Conwell with 7. Xavier back within 9 at 30-21.
A good rebound, and he had an avenue to the bucket.
Come on, Mark. Into the front court. To the left side. Mark rolls the dribble to the right wing. Looking. Calls for a screen. It's supplied by Onyema. Across the floor. Here's Kaluma firing a 3. It's short off the side iron. Rebound went out of bounds off Texas. It'll go back over to Xavier. So the Musketeers have scored on back-to-back possessions. They've trimmed a 13-point deficit down to 9, 30-21.
You cannot play in today's basketball game if you can't handle contact, because there's contact every play on the ball.
Into the front court. On the dribble is Ryan Conwell. To the left side, and Trey Johnson's going to be called for a foul. Trey will pick up his first. And 15 foul against the Longhorns. Xavier will inbound on the side with 8:10 remaining in the half. Dalen Swain will inbound for Xavier. Swings it up top to Zach Fremantle. And then to McKnight. To Conwell, right side. A long contested three. Short off the front iron, and the rebound. Texas cleared by Zarek Onyema. On the dribble and into the front court is Tremont Mark. Mark, top of the arc, rolls it to the right side, then flips a pass to Arthur Kaluma. He puts him on the floor. Bounce pass inside. Onyema scores reverse side.
Great job of attacking Fremantle that time.
Texas back up 11, 32-21. Out front. Dribble into the paint, pulling it back out is Foster. Now Fremantle will shoot a three, left it short off the front of the rim, and the rebound, Tremont Mark for Texas. Longhorns a chance to move it back to match their largest lead of 13, or maybe even more if it's a three-point play or a three-point shot. Kaluma has it, top of the arc to the right side to Trey Johnson. Johnson holding up against Dalen Swain. Backing out the dribble now as he rolls it toward the top. Now steps inside, and that's going to be a foul on Swain, just reaching in. And that's going to be the 17th foul against the Musketeers. Swain picks up his first, but after the official timeout, it'll be a 1-and-1 for Trey Johnson. 7 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Here in the NCAA First Four in Dayton, Ohio at the UD Arena. It's Texas 32, Xavier 21. Texas Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
Oh, we can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey Longhorn fans, basketball season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the courtside celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Texas basketball games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Texas Longhorns. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Want to get in on the action at UFCU Disch-Falk Field and McCombs Field? Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to take you out to the ball game, offering its members 2 free tickets to select Longhorns baseball and softball home games this season. Visit TexasLonghorns.com/Texas Farm Bureau for details on how members can request tickets. That's TexasLonghorns.com/Texas Farm Bureau for 2 free tickets to see the Horns on their baseball and softball home fields, courtesy of Texas Farm Bureau Insurance.
Longhorn basketball is brought to you in part by St. David's Healthcare, an official healthcare provider of Texas athletics. The best is here. Longhorns shooting 57% from the floor right now. They've hit 12 of 21 shots, 4 of 7 from three-point range, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Xavier 40%, 8 of 20 from the field, 3 of 9 beyond the arc, 2 of 5 from the foul line. Rebounding edge to the Horns, 13-11. Turnovers still 3 for Xavier, 2 for Texas. And Texas with the 3-2 edge and points off the turnovers. Points in the paint favor the Horns, 16-10. Second chance points even at 2. Fast break points favor the Musketeers 5-3, and the bench points do as well, 8-6. There have been 2 ties and 4 lead changes, but the Longhorns have led this for a lot of this first half, and they have an 11-point lead right now with Trey Johnson going to the line for a 1-and-1.
So half our points have come in the paint, going with the 4 of the 7 from 3.
Again, a reminder, the winner of this game will go to Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin to face the Fighting Illini of Illinois out of the Big Ten. Your old friends with the head coach of the Illini.
Yeah, he's got a good club. He's young. He's got some talent, and they came into their own in the year.
Yeah, Brad Underwood's team really good. Anyway, If the Longhorns win this game, they'll face the Illini on Friday night. We'll be on the air at 8:30 Friday night, 8:30 Central Time Friday night. All right, here's Trey Johnson. And like we said, 89% from the line this season. One thing that's been odd here in the first half is Trey just 1 of 3 from the foul line. This is a 1-and-1, and he's able to knock down the front end. So he'll have one more now. A chance to push that Texas lead back to 13 and would match their largest in the first half. They held it a few minutes ago at 30-17. Second one is also good from Johnson. Trey with 10 first half points. It's a 34-21 Texas lead. 7:11 to go in the first half. Into the front court on the dribble. Davion McKnight swings it to Ryan Conwell. Up top, guarded by Tremont Mark. Now gives it back up to McKnight again, trying to drive on Kendall Weaver to the baseline. Looks, fade away from the left side of the lane, and he knocks down the jumper.
A good step back jumper, and Xavier's got Fremantle back on the bench. They brought him in there for a few minutes, but I knew that's very risky to have him on the floor.
Conwell out there playing with 2 personals. Texas lead is 11, 34-23. Bounce pass to Kendall Weaver. Up top, Arthur Kaluma swings it left side to Tremont Mark. Really guarded tightly by Davion McKnight. Now looking, sends a pass to Onyema. In the paint, bounce pass. Underneath, Kaluma makes a nice fake, but left his shot short. He was falling down. And the rebound, Xavier. Into the front court. Swain drives left to the baseline, guarded by Trey Johnson, and backs it out. Works it to the top of the arc. Leaves it now for Davion McKnight. McKnight retreats with a dribble. Out front again. He works it out to Jerome Hunter. A three-pointer good. So that one goes down, and it's now an 8-point ball game at 34-26 after Hunter knocks down his first 3. To the right side is Mark. Under 6 remaining in the half. Tremont on the dribble, picks it up now. Flips a pass to Trey Johnson, back to Tremont Mark. Looking into the paint. 12 on the shot clock, 5:50 on the first half game clock. Here's Mark. Pulls up, left wing jumper, rattles home for Tremont. 7 first half points for Mark. Texas back up 10 now, 36-26, 5:38 remaining in the half. Bounce pass underneath, low post as it goes to John Hughley, the 4th, working against Eric Onyema. Goes around him, and Onyema rejects the jump hook. Did he elevate to reject that one? Here's Johnson, lobbing it in. That's got to be a foul. They're going to call it out of bounds off Xavier. Musketeers are mad, but they collided with Kaluma. Did they call the foul? They did, and they should have.
Yes, they got to protect the ball.
The foul's on Conwell, and that's his 3rd. So Conwell, their 2nd leading scorer, will go to the bench after picking up his 3rd personal, and Arthur Kaluma back on the line. Kaluma, 3 for 3 from the line. The Longhorns 6 out of 8.
We've got 34 points on the bench, the Xavier team.
This is a 1-and-1 here because it was coming on the rebound on the 8th team foul. So here's Arthur Kaluma with a 1-and-1. 5:25 remaining first half. Kaluma with the free throw routine, the deep breath, rotates the ball around the waist, brings it back into motion, and the front end is good. He'll have the bonus to come. Here's a second one for Kaluma. Jason Kent getting ready to check back in for Texas. The bonus for Kaluma is short off the front iron in the rebound. Pulled down by Xavier. 37-26. Longhorns up 11. 5:18 remaining in the half. McKnight got a screen, flips a pass back out front. And that's to Jerome Hunter. Now he leaves it for Marcus Foster. Trying to drive past Kaluma. Got a good screen. Goes up. It's rejected. They'll call goaltending. So Foster credited with his first bucket. And the lead down to 9 at 37-28. 5:07 remaining in the half. Kaluma checks out now. Jason Kent back on the floor for the Longhorns.
Sean Miller's working the official. He came close to that possession before of getting a technical. He's on it pretty hard. They're only going to take so much.
Into the front court is Tremont Mark. Mark working against Davion McKnight, trying to go around him. He does. Down the lane, dumps it underneath. Jason Kent lays it in. First one for Jay Kent. Texas back up 11, 39-28. 4:48 remaining first half. And then losing his balance on the dribble is Jerome Hunter. In transition, Kendall Weaver scores.
Boy, he collected himself and elevated on the layup. Boy, he's up above the rim.
6 first-half points for Weaver. Longhorns match their largest lead, back up 13 with 4.5 remaining in the half. It's 41-28. Maddox trying to drive on Jason Kent. Bounce pass to the right side. Now McKnight will bring it out. Off to Foster, left side. He's picked up by Trey Johnson. Down toward the baseline. Still working against Trey. Works into the paint. Pumps again. Shoots and rattles it home.
Well, they're going to go after Trey. They've isolated him and go after him. But he did a great job of staying down. He just made a good shot.
Texas 41, Xavier 30 as we tick down to 4 minutes remaining first half. Tremont Mark on the dribble. To the left side, swings it to Kendall Weaver on the right wing. Back to Mark. Tremont looking into the paint. Mark to the left side with it. On the dribble. Step back. Long three. No good off the back iron. Rebound tipped out. Pulled down by Weaver. Kendall has it. Out front, his pass was deflected, and it is recovered. A turnover against Texas taken away by Xavier. 41-30. 3:35 remaining first half. Marcus Foster has it. Off to Maddox. To Hunter now. Jerome Hunter back to Foster again on the left side. Got Johnson off his feet. Drives down the paint. Threw it up. It's no good, but he's fouled. That foul is going to be the second on somebody. It's Caden Shedrick who will pick up his second personal. The first Longhorn to pick up a second foul. And there will be 2 free throws to come. Right now we want to pause 10 seconds for station identification. Live from Dayton, Ohio at the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. You're listening to Texas Longhorns basketball from Learfield. Three minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the first half here in Dayton, Ohio at the NCAA First Four. It's Texas 41, Xavier 30. Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
Dulce Vida Blanco Tequila will give you a winning taste in every sip. Made with 100% organic blue agave, harvested in Los Altos, Mexico, Dulce Vida Blanco is additive-free and great in a classic margarita. Try the Dulce Vida fruit-infused tequilas that are all natural, low in calories, and made with real fruit. Whether it's spicy pineapple jalapeno, refreshing grapefruit, or mouth-watering lime, Dulce Vida is a hit every time. Dulce Vida Tequila, pure and simple. 40% alcohol by volume, imported by Dulce Vida Spirits, Austin, Texas.
When faced with a disaster, the Cotton companies never fumble. As the trusted recovery partner of global businesses, Cotton is proud to provide property restoration, construction, roofing, temporary housing, culinary, and environmental support services. We're also restoring a long-standing Texas tradition as a proud partner of University of Texas Athletics and the official sponsor of the Lone Star Showdown. One call, one team. Total recovery. Learn more at cottoncompanies.com.
It's better over here. After investing billions to light up our network, T-Mobile is America's largest 5G network. Plus, right now, you can switch, keep your phone, and we'll pay it off up to $800. See how you can save on every plan versus Verizon and AT&T at T-Mobile.com/across-America.
Up to 4 lines via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device credit service boarded 90+ days with device and eligible carrier and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months.
3 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the first half. There'll be free throws coming for Xavier, but the officials are reviewing the earlier. And it is going to stand. It was a goaltending. So the goaltending call earlier is going to stand, and there'll be free throws to come on the foul. So it's 41-30 still with 2 free throws to come. Texas shooting 58% from the floor in the first half, but Xavier now starting to get hot, and the Musketeers now up to 48% shooting, and they've hit 4 of their last 5 shots. The rebounding edge right now to the Longhorns, 15-13. The turnovers, 4 for Xavier, 3 for Texas. Longhorns a 5-2 edge in points off the turnovers. So Zach Fremantle with 2 personal fouls back on the floor, and 2 free throws coming, and the first one is good for Marcus Foster.
Well, Texas do all they can to isolate him and go right at Fremantle because of the 2 fouls.
Here's the second one for Foster. 76% from the foul line this season, and the second one's good. Foster with 6. The Texas lead is 9. 41-32. 3:20 remaining in the half. Weaver swings it up top to Zarek Onyema. We had to come back in after that second foul was picked up by Caden Shedrick. Off to Jason Kent. Bounce pass to Onyema against Fremantle. Going up against him. Sends it back out front. Now to Pope. 12 on the shot clock. Jordan. Hanging jumper off the rim. No good. Rebound. And the put back Onyema. Zarek with the rebound and the stick back.
He just went and got that one.
Texas back up 11. 43-32. Under 3 minutes remaining in the half. McKnight has it for Xavier. Out front to Fremantle. Got around Onyema for the moment. Bounce pass over on the right wing to Dalen Swain. Now leaves it to the right side to Marcus Foster. Foster to Dante Maddox Jr. Guarded by Weaver to the baseline. A jumper from there is good. And Maddox with 10 first half points. He averages 7 per game. There's another one of those role players, Eddie, that all of a sudden seems to find himself and does it against the Longhorns. Texas with it. Kent on the dribble, 43-34 Longhorns, 2:20 remaining in the half. Kendall Weaver on the dribble, out to Jason Kent. He drives down the lane against Fremantle and scores. Fremantle had to go straight up and not commit the foul.
And there was contact, probably not a foul, but boy, there's a good chance they could call that.
45-34 Longhorns back up 11, 2:05 remaining in the half. To the left side is Swain, a high dribble, almost lost it against Zarek Onyema. Back out front to Marcus Foster. Now swings a pass to the right wing, works it to Dante Maddox. Maddox backpedaling on the dribble. Now to McKnight, 10 to shoot. To Swain in the left corner. Trying to drive in. He dribbled it off his foot, and that was all Zarek Onyema standing his ground, forcing the turnover.
They're still speeding them up. They're just not, Xavier is not comfortable in their offense. Texas is really speeding them up, and mainly because they're staying in front of the ball.
All right, Longhorns will inbound the ball. Jason Kent inbounds to Jordan Pope. Tremont Mark getting ready to check back in for Texas. Pope on the dribble to the left side. 1:40 remaining in the half. Pope to the right wing. Sends it into the corner. Trey Johnson almost fell out of bounds. Saved an inbounds to Pope. Now back to Trey. Johnson on the right wing. 90 seconds remaining in the half. Johnson, top of the arc. 10 on the shot clock. Drives in. Lost it off his foot. Picked up by Onyema. His pass picked off. Longhorns turn it over. 2-on-1 break. Here's Xavier. And then Swain recovered it. He almost lost it. Got it back and scored. So it's back to 9 with 1:15 remaining in the half.
They score off of turnovers. That's how they get their transition game going.
Rodney Terry's wanting a timeout. Took the officials a long time to see it. The Longhorns will take that first half, use it or lose it timeout here with 1:09 remaining in the half, a 30-second timeout. Texas up 9 here at 45-36.
Yeah, I like this timeout. It collects them, gives them some time to go over both offense and defense. But I think they're really doing a good job on their pick and roll. They're getting an advantage on the pick and roll and having open avenues.
Well, the turnovers have been capitalized on by both sides, not to a large extent, but like Xavier has 5 turnovers. The Longhorns have 4, but the Musketeers, who just scored off that last turnover, have a 6-5 edge and the points off the turnovers. Longhorns still shooting an excellent percentage, 59%. They've hit 17 of 29 and 4 of 8 from three-point range. And with 1:09 remaining in the half, Texas will get Tremont Mark back on the floor. Trey Johnson checks out.
Well, you want to use as much time as you can in the possession unless you get a layup or a really easy shot. But just take some time off of it. Do not allow Xavier to get any momentum going in the half.
20 seconds on the shot clock, inbounded to Mark. Tremont draws a high screen from Caden Shedrick, who just checked back in as well. Mark, right side, in some trouble, got rid of it to Weaver. 10 to shoot. Back to Mark. Tremont, 7 on the shot clock. Trying to drive in right now against Maddox. Spins, turns, lost his balance again. 2-1. Pope launches, missed it off the back iron. Rebound loose on the floor. Xavier came away with it into the front court. Bounce pass in, broken up by Pope. It went out of bounds. It'll still belong to the Musketeers. 41.6 to go in the half. Now Fremantle checks back in for offense for Xavier, as does Foster for Swain. And Trey Johnson will check back in for Texas for what would probably be the final possession of the half. Texas up 9. Also Kaluma reports back in, and Pope checks out.
Craig, there's an example of a 2-on-1, 3-on-2, whatever, speeding them up and almost getting a turnover.
No question. All right, Xavier will inbound the ball. 26 on the shot clock, 41.6 on the first half game clock. Inbounded to Foster. Coming off the screen, Top of the arc with it is Maddox, guarded by Kendall Weaver to the right side. Now swings it back to the top of the arc again to Jerome Hunter. To the left side, Marcus Foster trying to work inside against Trey Johnson. 9 on the shot clock. Long three, and it's good. Knocked down by Hunter. His second made 3 of the half. Longhorns will work for the final shot as the lead has been trimmed to 6. Mark in the front court. Xavier fans making up the preponderance of fans here, making a lot of noise. 8 seconds to go. Tremont still on the dribble, down to 5 seconds. Mark trying to drive on Maddox, spins, turns, up, it's good! Knocks it in at the buzzer. And the Longhorns will take an 8-point lead into the locker room at halftime. Well, the Longhorns led by as many as 13 on 3 occasions. And Xavier made a run, but Texas will take an 8-point lead into the locker room.
That was a big bucket there. Good elevation on his jumper, creating space, going up on the jumper. Good defense, better offense.
Into the first half from here in Dayton, Ohio, with a score of the Texas Longhorns 47, the Xavier Musketeers 39. Coming up next, Mike Coulter in our Longhorn Radio Network studios with a look at other NCAA, NIT tournament action as well, and other elements when Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
Oh, we can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, where the thrills are bigger than ever. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa. Enjoy 36 holes of championship golf. Savor a world of dining experiences. Rest in one of our vast hotel towers and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
It's a mower extravaganza at Ewald Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald. So stop by one of our locations and check out our huge selection of Kubota mowers. For residential or commercial use, from zero turn to front mount, from stand on to walk behind, we've got the right machine at the right price. And right now, Kubota is offering incredible savings and finance offers on all mowers. So stop by one of our locations or visit us online at ewaldkubota.com.
At St. David's Healthcare, we talk a lot about being the best. It's not just talk. We show it through innovation, hard work, heart, and of course, victories. St. David's Healthcare is proud to be an official healthcare provider of Texas Athletics. And as
now, let's head to the Learfield Network Studios.
Mike Coulter back with you from the Learfield Network studios. Good first half for Texas in Dayton. They lead Xavier at halftime by 8, 47-39. The halftime advantage for the Longhorns. Texas led by as much as 13 in that first half a couple of times, but find themselves up by 8 at the break. Taking a look now at this WinStar World Resort Studio report. This is the 4th game of the first 4 in Dayton this week. So the final game of the first 4 taking place, of course, between the Longhorns and the Musketeers, but had one final before our game, the 3rd game, a matchup of 16 seeds, Mount St. Mary's out of the Metro Atlantic Conference and American out of the Patriot League. It was a tight game before Mount St. Mary's got it really going in the first half, shooting 61%. They did the Mountaineers 48-38 at halftime before really sealing the deal late in the second half.
Mount St. Mary's with the basketball, attacking the rim to our left against Americans' man-to-man defense, up 15. Keys on the right wing, bounce pass entry, right block extended. Cordelia gives it up to Adebayo, who goes up with the right hand and jams it right on the head of Greg Jones. What a second half for Dola Adebayo. King McClure is ducking for cover.
Oh, man. Goodness gracious.
Dola Adebayo, 22 points. Mount St. Mary's gets the win, 83-72 over American, and the Mountaineers get a date with number 1 seed Duke in the East Region on Friday afternoon. With the win, Mount St. Mary's improves to 23-12 on the season. That was Nate Gatter and King McClure on the Westwood One NCAA radio network earlier tonight. Speaking of games that have already taken place in the NCAA tournament, it all got started yesterday evening. Number 16 seed Alabama State with a tight one late, taking on St. Francis out of Pennsylvania.
They have to go 94 feet. Simpson will inbound under his own basket. Pinedo pressures the ball. He throws a baseball right-hand pass, arcing toward the far free throw line. It's loose under the basket. Laid up and in by Knox. 7/10 of a second to go. Amar Knox gives Alabama State the lead, 70-68. Simpson with his right hand received a 90-foot pass, the length of the floor. It was knocked off 2, 3, 4 hands. Knox grabbed it on the left block. He laid it up and in, and Alabama State, with 7/10 of a second to go, leads 70-68 over St. Francis. Welcome to March.
St. Francis unable to do much with the 0.7 seconds. Alabama State, the first ever NCAA tournament win yesterday, 70-68 over St. Francis. The game winner, of course, you heard there from Nate Gatter again on the Westwood One NCAA radio network. A play that looked like a football Hail Mary, if you will, the best way to describe it. Very similar to the way the Chicago Bears lost to the Washington Commanders, if you remember that Hail Mary in the NFL during the season, taking place on a basketball court yesterday. Alabama State with the win. They get a matchup with their in-state foe, the Auburn Tigers. That game tomorrow at 1:50 in the South region. Also taking place yesterday, North Carolina taking on San Diego State, the right to be the 11 seed in the South region. And the Tar Heels came out hot in this one against the nation's top field goal percentage defense. The Tar Heels, a blistering 52.6%, actually cooled off from where they were at one point in the game. 14 of 24 from 3. 7 made threes in each half for North Carolina as they defeat San Diego State 95-68. The final. R.J. Davis, again electric in the NCAA tournament. 26 points for the fifth-year senior, including 6 for 6 from 3. He subbed out of the game with just under 8 minutes to go in that first half. For San Diego State, that is the most points allowed in a 40-minute game since 2006. North Carolina with 95 points in the 27-point rout. For the Tar Heels, they now get number 6 seed Ole Miss on Friday. Tip-off at 3:05. Taking a look at Texas athletics, a busy week coming up for Longhorn athletics. Of course, got to mention the Texas women's basketball team as they get started on their NCAA tournament journey. Hopefully it's a long one, as Vic Schaefer's team wrapped up the season with a 31-3 record. They begin play, of course, hosting a site host again this season for Texas women's basketball. They're the number 1 seed in the Birmingham Regional, and they will take on either High Point or William and Mary inside Moody Center on Saturday at 8:45. Those two are going to play inside Moody Center tomorrow evening, High Point and William and Mary, to decide who will face Texas women's basketball on Saturday. Texas baseball, fresh off their first defeat in quite some time. 17-2 now on the season as Texas baseball. They get number 2 ranked LSU this weekend for a 3-game set over at the Dish, beginning on Friday at 7 p.m., 6 p.m. on Saturday, and 2 p.m. on Sunday. Texas, of course, lost in extras in 12 innings to UTSA yesterday, 8-7 to end a 17-game win streak. Texas softball also at home this weekend, 28-2 now on the season. They got a big important 3-game set coming up against the Auburn Tigers, who come in ranked 23rd in the nation, over at McCombs Field beginning on Friday at 4, Saturday at 2, and Sunday at noon. Texas softball took 2 of 3 last weekend in Gainesville against number 3 Florida. Again at halftime, Texas leads Xavier in the first 4 in Dayton of the NCAA tournament. It's Texas 47, Xavier 39, and we're back with more halftime coverage after this timeout on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Kendall Weaver on the right side trying to drive in. Can't do it. Leaves it now. Mark fires along. Straight on three, and Tremont drains it. Mark shot 37% beyond the arc in conference play. Texas back up 12-10.
Mark with 11 points in the first half for Texas. They lead Xavier 47-39 at halftime in Dayton as part of the first four. Winner against number 6 seed Illinois later on this week. Taking a look again at this WinStar World Resort Studio report. In the NIT, couple of games now having gone final. 2 games still underway. Early second half, SMU hosting Northern Iowa. Mustangs now trail the Panthers by 6, 45-39. Plenty of time left, though, for the Mustangs. Just under 16 minutes to go in that matchup. Also, first half action, UC Irvine hosting Northern Colorado. Northern Colorado, a 15-14 lead over UC Irvine. Just under 11 minutes and ticking down in the first half there. 2 games on tap later tonight at 10 p.m. San Francisco hosts Utah Valley and San Jose State hosting Loyola Chicago. Finals earlier tonight, UAB wins at St. Joseph 69-65. Yaxel Lindeberg, one of the better players that most people don't know about, a double-double for him. 16 points to go along with 17 rebounds to lead the Blazers, who are now 23-12 for head coach Andy Kennedy now on the season. George Mason beats Samford 86-69. Dayton over Florida Atlantic by 7, 86-79. It was Bradley over North Alabama, 71-62. And North Texas now 25-8. They win their NIT first round game against Furman today in Denton, 75-64. Again at halftime, Texas leads Xavier 47-39. Craig's got your first half stats after this timeout as Texas Longhorn basketball continues after this timeout on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Halftime here in Dayton with Texas leading Xavier 47-39. We take a look at the first half numbers. Longhorns did an excellent job shooting. 18 of 31. They shot 58% from the floor, hit 50%, 4 out of 8 from three-point range, 70%, 7 of 10 from the free throw line. Musketeers really picked it up late in the half and hit their last 5 shots to wind up at 54%, 15 of 28, 5 of 11 beyond the arc, 4 of 7 from the foul line. Texas a 16-14 edge in rebounding. Turnovers, 5 for Xavier, 4 for Texas, but Xavier with the edge and the points off the turnover, 6-5. Points in the paint, however, to the Longhorns by 10, 26-16. Second chance points, 4-2 edge for the Horns. Fast break points, the edge to the Musketeers, 7-5, and Xavier with the edge in bench points, 16-14. There have been 2 ties and 4 lead changes. The Musketeers have 1 player in double figures. That's Dante Maddox Jr. off the bench, 3 of 4, including 2 of 3 beyond the arc, and hit both of his free throws. So he has 10 points. 7 points from Ryan Conwell, who was plagued with foul difficulty. Conwell only to play a little under 12 minutes because of 3 personal fouls. 6 points for Marcus Foster. 6 as well from Jerome Hunter. 4 points from Dalen Swain. And only 2 from Zach Fremantle, who was only able to play 13 minutes due to foul difficulty. Longhorns led by Tremont Marks, 11 points on 5 of 7, shooting 1 out of 3 from the free throw line. 10 points from Trey Johnson, 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 beyond the arc, 3 of 5 from the foul line. 6 points from Arthur Kaluma, 6 from Kendall Weaver off the bench, made all 3 of his shot, added 2 assists and a couple of rebounds. 4 points and 2 boards from Zarek Onyema, 3 points from Jordan Pope. They also got 4 from Jason Kent. So, Eddie Orn, your observations of this first half.
Well, I thought Texas did a good job defense and speeding them up, not allowing any fast break opportunities. And I also, offensively, I thought they really did a good job spacing and moving the ball and really getting one-on-one isolation and getting the key guys in foul trouble. But, Craig, the first 5 minutes, we cannot let Xavier get a couple buckets. What could happen then? The crowd gets into it and they play. Energy comes off the crowd.
If the Longhorns are able to maintain it and win this game, they will advance to the NCAA's first round in Milwaukee on Friday night against Illinois. At the half, it is Texas 47 and Xavier 39. Second half of tonight's game coming up when Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
Jan from Toyota here. Feeling cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like hitching up the boat to a Tundra for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
Live out your spring fantasies with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk, do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all the roads we travel, and all of our traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter. Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, where the thrills are bigger than ever. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa. Enjoy 36 holes of championship golf. Savor a world of dining experiences. Rest in one of our vast hotel towers and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Texas. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Texas and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the University of Texas.
We get ready to start the second half with Texas leading Xavier 47-39, and as we mentioned, there have been 2 ties and 4 lead changes. The Longhorns have led this game for 16 minutes and 24 seconds out of the 20 minutes, Eddie, after Xavier had a couple of very small leads early. Texas had a big 13-2 run. It was 9-0 in the middle of that as well, and they've been able to largely maintain it. Had it out to as many as 13 before Xavier made the push, got it down to 6 before Tremont Marks' buzzer-beating jumper to give us the current 8-point margin.
Well, you got to play 40 minutes. We've seen it too many times. You got to come out with the same energy you had the first half on the defensive and the offensive end, moving the ball, spreading it, and really getting Xavier in the ISO situation. But you got to finish this game.
Well, and they also were helped out by the fact that both Zach Fremantle and Ryan Conwell had the foul difficulty, 3 apiece, and it kind of rendered them less effective. Conwell still scored 7 points in the first half. Fremantle only 2 points in that first half.
Yeah, and those 2 guys, they'll come out and try to take over the second half. But Texas, I thought, did a really, really good job. I keep repeating myself. They speeded them up. They really put pressure on them, made them really do things to the ball they normally don't do.
All right, Longhorns break the huddle. It will be Xavier basketball moving left to right here in this second half. Longhorns from right to left. Original starting 5s on the floor for the Musketeers: Davion McKnight, Ryan Conwell, Marcus Foster, Dalen Swain, and Zach Fremantle. For Texas, Jordan Pope, Tremont Mark, Trey Johnson, Arthur Kaluma, and Caden Shedrick. It's inbounded from Dalen Swain to Davion McKnight. Now to Fremantle up top. Drops it off. Conwell, oh boy, it looked like he might have left his feet, but they did not call travel. Conwell decided not to shoot a long 3. Now it goes to Fremantle. Dribble to the right side. Off to McKnight. Sends a pass in, deflected and stolen in the corner. Yes, as Kaluma saved it inbounds to Tremont Mark. Now to Pope. Jordan going around McKnight and had it knocked out of bounds. What did they call? No, it said went off of Pope's thigh. And it'll go back to Xavier. So the Musketeers will have the basketball, and it's inbounded to McKnight. He'll work it into the front court. To Conwell. Now to Swain. To the left side. Back to Davion McKnight. Now to Zach Fremantle up top. Off to Marcus Foster. Bounce pass. Fremantle along the baseline. Into Swain. Down the lane. Got the bucket in one. And the foul is going to be on Caden Shedrick, his 3rd. Just a little too late to react to it. Shedrick will pick up his 3rd personal foul. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Live from Dayton, you're listening to Texas Longhorn basketball from Learfield. All right. Swain missed the free throw. I said it was the 3rd foul on Shedrick. They had changed one for the first half, so Caden only has 2 personal fouls. But the Texas lead again, cut to 6, 47-41. We played 1 minute of the second half. Trey Johnson with it on the dribble. At the top of the arc, shuttles it in the right corner. A 3-pointer from there is good. Knocked down by Tremont Mark. Mark with 12. Texas back up 9, 50-41. Into the front court is Foster. Drops it off to McKnight. Up top, Zach Fremantle. A dribble handoff to the right side. There's Conwell driving in to the baseline. Now kicks it back out front to Fremantle, who shoots a 3, and it's good. Fremantle, big fella, but he shoots 31%. He's capable of knocking down a 3, and here's Xavier within 6 again at 50-44. He's got the crowd back into it. To the right side, Trey Johnson. Off to Tremont Mark. Top of the arc, Mark. Started right back to the left in the corner to Jordan Pope. Pope on the dribble. Trying to drive it on Conwell. A step back three over Conwell was an air ball. And it's pulled down by Xavier. Into the front court. Here's Foster, top of the arc, steps inside the arc. On the dribble, 2 minutes gone by, second half. On the left side, Swain. Now gives it up to Marcus Foster. To the left side, he's guarded by Trey Johnson. Picks up the dribble now. 10 on the shot clock, across the floor with a pass to Swain. Thought about a three, now driving in. Kicks it back to Fremantle, shooting another three. That one's off the rim, no good. And the rebound cleared for Texas by Tremont Mark.
Swain's not going to shoot the three, and they did a good job of laying off of him.
Mark with the basketball, guarded by Davion McKnight. To the left side, Tremont Mark picks up the dribble. Now to Trey Johnson. Johnson guarded by Swain, top of the arc. Trey to the right side, draws a high screen from Shedrick. Now rolls the dribble back. 7 on the shot clock. Works it. No look pass in the paint. Broken up. Turnover against Texas. Shedrick's pass broken up. Inside Fremantle. A slam dunk. The lead is down to 4. Rodney Terry going to have to call a timeout. You've often said it, Eddie. Don't make me be the first to call a timeout. Listen to this building now.
No doubt about it. They got him back in it after 3 minutes.
So, it's a 4-point game. Exactly 17 minutes to go. It's Texas 50, Xavier 46 on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
How's business?
Good. Are you up to speed with the new beneficial ownership reporting requirements?
Sort of. What's it about?
It's a new initiative to help fight crimes like money laundering, fraud, and drug trafficking. A lot of small businesses like ours just have to report some basic info to the federal government about the real people behind them.
Reporting your company's beneficial ownership information is quick, secure, and free, and it helps protect U.S. national security. Learn more at fincen.gov/BOI.
The run, if you want to call it that, is only 7-3 to start the second half. But it has cut an 8-point Texas lead in half down to 4. And it's got the crowd back in it. And Rodney Terry calling a timeout. Xavier has hit 3 of 4 shots to open the second half. Longhorns just 1 of 2. And so Rodney calls the timeout. Xavier back within 4 at 50-46. And, Eddie, we see the difference that Zach Fremantle makes when he's able to stay on the floor. He has scored 5 of the Musketeers' 7 points here in half number 2.
Well, he's a threat inside and outside, but the 2 turnovers this half, but Texas has led to 2 buckets, and they got 4 points off of it, whereas Xavier has not turned it over. But you just got to settle down, get the ball in the guard's hand, and work.
So, out of the timeout. Let's see. Jordan Pope will take a seat, and for Texas, Kendall Weaver's back on the floor. Xavier sticking with its original 5 of McKnight, Conwell, Foster, Swain, and Fremantle. Longhorns have Tremont Mark, Trey Johnson, Arthur Kaluma, Caden Shedrick, and Kendall Weaver on the floor.
The Xavier perimeter guys are strong. They're very strong, very big and strong.
Inbounded to Tremont Mark. Swings it right side to Trey Johnson. Flips a pass to Kaluma. Arthur holds it on the right wing in some trouble. Now puts the ball on the floor, drives in the paint, goes reverse side and lays it in.
Good job of Bucky. They bear hugged him before he got. They all over him.
Texas back up 6, 52-46. Here's McKnight driving in. They're going to get a foul, I believe, on the floor against Kendall Weaver. No, shooting foul, says James Brady.
Oh, me.
So, first foul on Kendall. There'll be 2 free throws to come for Davion McKnight. McKnight missed a free throw in the first half, but he's an 81% free throw shooter. Coming into tonight's game, he'd hit 83 of 103. First one for McKnight is no good off the back of the rim. He'll have another. Former Western Kentucky Hilltopper. Here's the second one for Davion McKnight. Got that one. 1 out of 2. The Texas lead is 5, 52-47, 16:35 to go. Tremont Mark on the dribble. He brings it in the front court for the Longhorns. Between the legs on the dribble. Off to Trey Johnson on the right side. Johnson being guarded by Dalen Swain down in the corner. He'll fire up a 3, and he rattles it in. Trey Johnson with his second made 3 of the night. He has 13 points. Texas back up 8, 55-47. Foster on the left side for the Musketeers. Pass stolen by Caden Shedrick. Here's Caden. Slam dunk. Just like that, the Longhorns are back up 10 at 57-47.
Well, Fremantle had to let him go, and great job overplaying the guard to forward pass.
Fremantle, top of the arc. Swings it to the left side to Davion McKnight. Now to Swain to the right side. Bounce pass from Foster to Fremantle. Now McKnight driving baseline, trying to get around Kendall Weaver in the paint. Lofts with a left hand. Missed it off the rim. Rebound. Weaver collects it for Texas. Hustling every second on the floor. Into the front court. Mark to the right side to Trey Johnson. Trey looking, draws a screen, and then return pass Arthur Kaluma. Now Tremont Mark thought about a 3, guarded by McKnight. Trying to drive on him. Does. Down the lane. Lost his balance, however. And he'll go back over to Xavier. Into the front court. To the left side. Cross-court pass. Stepping around traffic. Foster a 3. It's good. A turnover led to the points. And the lead cut to 7 at 57-50. Slow dribble for Tremont Mark and into the front court. Mark being guarded by McKnight. Swings it right side to Trey Johnson. Flips a pass to Kaluma again on that right wing, right in front of the Texas bench. Kaluma holds up with it. He's looking toward Trey. Trying to drive behind a screen in. Now goes to the baseline, and he's fouled along the baseline. That foul is going to be on Dalen Swain. That will be his second, and we will have a timeout here with 14:51 remaining in the ball game. It's Texas 57, Xavier 50 on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Another teenager, victim to fake pills bought from social media. This doesn't seem like a drug deal, but it definitely is. Should buying prescription pills be that easy? Many fake pills contain fentanyl, and an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal. So listen, before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real. Brought to you by USPTO and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Yes! I finally got my first phone!
It is exciting. Let's learn a few things about online safety first.
We can secure our world. Online security depends on you and me. Install updates, make better passwords. Think before you click, use multiple factors. That's how we can secure our world.
Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems. Learn more at talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
The unexpected happens every day. When it does, head to Kohl's and Kohl's.com for everything your family needs. Kohl's, where families come first. Craig Way and Eddie Orrin with you from University of Dayton Arena here in Dayton, Ohio. The first 4 of the NCAA basketball tournament First time the Longhorns have ever played in the first four, and trying to be 1-0 in first four competition. They lead the Xavier Musketeers 57-50, 14:51 remaining in the ball game. If the Longhorns win, they'll advance to play the University of Illinois on Friday night. Tip off probably sometime between 8:45 and 9 o'clock Texas time. We'll be on the air at 8:30 from Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee on Friday if the Longhorns are to advance. And here in the second half, Texas has hit 4 or 5 shots. They came back after Rodney Terry called the timeout. So for the ball game, they're shooting 61%. And Xavier 56%. They've hit 4 of 6 shots. A 19-15 edge on the boards for Texas. Turnovers are now even at 7, but Xavier with a 13-7 edge in the points off the giveaways.
Well, Craig, Xavier's having trouble guarding Texas. Texas is spreading the floor, moving the ball, and really getting it after switches, ISO situations, and going one-on-one to the rim.
Trey Johnson will inbound the basketball on the baseline for Texas. Trey looking, lobs it out for Kendall Weaver, top of the arc. Now back to Johnson again. He had a quick look at the bucket, decided against shooting the three. Working right now against Dalen Swain, who just fouled him. Now he's trying to go past Swain into the corner, and he is fouled going up. Now, it's 2, says James Breeding. He was inside the arc, so it is 2. But it is a foul on Dalen Swain, and he's picked up 2 quick ones. He now has 3. And that'll send Trey Johnson back to the line. Johnson missed 2 of his first free throws, but since then he's parked a couple, so he's now 3 out of 5. Make it 3 of 6 as the first one goes home for Trey.
Well, he yo-yoed with him with the ball. He went east-west with him, really got him off balance, and once he got him into his chest, he went up and drew the foul.
Dalen Swain checks out for Xavier. Dante Maddox Jr. back on the floor for the Musketeers. Second free throw was good for Johnson. Trey with 15 points now, and the Longhorns back up 9, 59-50, 14:38 to go. Into the front court. Maddox to Fremantle. Up top, holds up, looks into the paint, still holding against Arthur Kaluma. Drops it now to Jerome Hunter, and back at the top of the arc to Davion McKnight. To the left side, trying to drive in as Conwell to the baseline, shoots over Tremont Mark and rattles it home.
Well, he got a friendly bounce there.
His first bucket of the second half, Conwell with 9. The Texas lead is 7 with 14:14 to go. 59-52 Longhorns. On the dribble, Mark works it. Now to Kendall Weaver, driving through 2 defenders and had the ball taken out of his hands, but then lost. No! They say it was knocked out of bounds, went off Texas, and so it'll go to Xavier. Musketeers have it. And here's McKnight quickly up the right side. Longhorns adjust defensively. McKnight pulls the ball back out to the right wing again. Swings it up top to Zach Fremantle. Back again to Davion McKnight. Coming off a screen, shooting a 3. Conwell left it well short, and the ball went out of bounds off Xavier. Longhorns will get it back. So Texas will inbound the ball with 13:41 to go.
At times, Xavier is settling for the 3 at that situation. They're just really, Texas frustrated them defensively.
Into the front court. Tremont Mark on the dribble. Working against Davion McKnight. Swings it coming off a screen is Weaver. Top of the arc. Kendall backing out the dribble. Now to Trey Johnson. Johnson guarded by Dante Maddox. 10 on the shot clock for UT. High screen provided by Onyema, and there's going to be a foul as Trey went up in the air. The foul, I believe, it's on Fremantle, and he'll pick up his 3rd. Longhorns will inbound on the side. Caden Shedrick back on the floor, replacing Zarek Onyema. Gave him a couple of good minutes there. Now Tremont will inbound for Texas. Works it to Trey Johnson. Back to Mark. Tremont to the right side. Here's Johnson. Open to shoot a 3. Hits it. Trey with 18. 9 of those, half of those points coming from beyond the arc, and the Longhorns are back up double digits at 62-52. Ticking down to 13 minutes to go. Maddox trying to go around the defense. Down to the baseline. In some trouble out to Fremantle. Now trying to drive in on Caden Shedrick. Works, turns with a jump hook. Missed it off the rim. Kaluma the Texas rebound. Into the front court to Tremont Mark. Tremont swings it to Trey Johnson. Driving into traffic. Lost his balance and called for a travel. Collided with Fremantle. And so Xavier will get the ball back. Jason Kent checks back in. Arthur Kaluma will check out. Xavier ball with Texas up 10, 12:45 to go.
Well, that was the right call. if they're not going to call a foul, it's walking.
Yeah, Trey just lost his balance going into the paint. Xavier with the basketball into the front court. Davion McKnight works it to the right side. Now up top it goes to Jerome Hunter. Back it goes to Dante Maddox. Maddox top of the arc. And he'll fire a long three. It's off the rim. No good. Jason Kent running down the rebound. He has it. And then it was tipped out of bounds on his pass up the floor by Jerome Hunter. Longhorns get it with a fresh shot clock and 12:26 on the game clock.
Good hustle on that 50-50 ball there.
Mark will bring it into the front court. Tremont across the timeline to the right side, draws a double team, now works away from it, now down into the lane, spins, turns, fadeaway jumper off the back iron, no good. Rebound slapped out of bounds. It was, I think, Caden Shedrick was trying to get it into the corner to Kendall Weaver and just knocked it out of bounds. Jordan Pope back on the floor for Texas. Tremont Mark will check out. Jerome Hunter off the floor for the Musketeers. And Dalen Swain returns for Xavier. Take it down to 12 minutes to go with the Longhorns leading by 10, 62-52. Foster swings it left side. Here's Conwell trying to drive in through some traffic. There's going to be a foul. They can't give that. No, that's what I started saying. There's no way that could be, that'd be a continuation. Sean Miller wanted to say, no. The foul is on Jordan Pope, his second. It's only the third team foul against Texas, so it'll be an inbounds on the baseline out of the official timeout. Exactly 12 minutes remaining in the ball game here in Dayton, Ohio, in the NCAA First Four. It's Texas 62, Xavier 52. Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk, do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all the roads we travel, and all of our traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter. Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
Looking for a new home is an exciting time in your life, and if you're looking in rural Texas, we can help. At Capital Farm Credit, we'll help you navigate buying rural property because rural lending is all we do. So whether the home is big or small, one story or two, it doesn't matter because the joy your new home will provide can't be measured in square feet. To learn more, visit CapitalFarmCredit.com. Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better.
In the game of business, information is your playbook. It's the thing that keeps everyone on the same page so that each player has the knowledge they need to perform their role, work together, and give your team a competitive advantage. The trick, of course, is executing that playbook. And that's where Rico comes in. We're a proud sponsor and business technology provider of Texas Athletics, and we're ready to play for your team whenever you want an edge. We love TMI. Hook 'em horns, Rico. Imagine change.
Well, Texas with the lead, 62-52, with exactly 12 minutes remaining in the basketball game. And here in the second half, the Longhorns are shooting 62%. They've hit 5 of 8 shots. Xavier 5 of 10 from the floor. For the ball game, the Longhorns at 59%, 7 of 12, 58% from three-point range, 9 of 12 from the foul line at 75%. Musketeers for the ball game shooting 53%, not bad at all, and 44% from three-point range, 7 of 16, only 5 of 10 from the foul line. The rebounding edge of the Horns, it's widened a little bit at 22-17. The turnovers, however, 8 for Texas, 7 for Xavier, and a 13-7 edge in points off the turnovers for the Musketeers, but the Longhorns have countered with a 30-20 edge in points in the paint, Eddie.
Well, when you're shooting the ball as well as Texas, you're going to win a lot of games, shooting 59% from the field and 58 3 and then making 75% of your free throws.
It was a non-shooting foul. So it'll be Xavier basketball as Jordan Pope picked up the personal. And that's his second. Pope remains out there along with Kendall Weaver, Trey Johnson, Jason Kent, and Caden Shedrick. Xavier will inbound on the baseline. And And it's Ryan Conwell to inbound, and they got a holding foul, and it's on Pope. He's picked up back-to-back quick ones. That's his third. And that's the fourth foul of the second. He'll check out now. Tremont Mark back on the floor. So Mark back in. Pope checks out. And they're clearing up something. Even though the ball had not been inbound and no time ago, there had been a whistle because of the foul, and that allows Texas to make the substitution. So Xavier to inbound the ball. Again, Ryan Conwell to inbound for the Musketeers. Looking in the corner, trapped in the corner and almost losing it. They got it away, however, and underneath wide open was Marcus Foster. Meanwhile, Caden Shedrick is down on the floor in the corner. Foster got the bucket. It trims the Texas lead 8-62-54, and Caden is down on the floor. I did not see what happened. Of course, there was a lot of congestion, a lot of traffic in the corner where the inbounds came and where the pass came. And I think they're going to look at a monitor just to see if something happened, if there was something along the lines of a flagrant foul. Now, they can't call a common foul. It would have to be a flagrant if that was the case, because no common foul was called, but they're reviewing it here, and I don't know if they're going to show it on the big board here on this. All they're saying is all that's coming up on the scoreboard is big graphics that say play, under, review. Yeah, we get that. Shedrick is up. Team trainer Warren Young helping him back over to the bench, but Caden's in some obvious pain from a hit. Unfortunately, we were not provided with a television monitor, and they've not put anything up on the board.
I think hit right where you don't want to get hit.
Oh, one of those.
One of those.
Incidental contact, no foul. Well, if it's true that he was hit there, it would definitely be incidental because nobody's trying to hit anybody there.
No.
And he is over at the bench, replaced on the floor by Zarek Onyema. So the Texas lineup on the floor, Tremont Mark, Kendall Weaver, Trey Johnson, Jason Kent, and now Zarek Onyema.
That doesn't feel good.
So Longhorns inbound. Here's some pressure from Xavier in backcourt. Inbounded to Johnson. Quickly got rid of it to Mark, and Tremont works the ball up the floor against Dante Maddox and brings it into the front court. Bounce pass to Jason Kent on the right wing, guarded by Marcus Foster in the man-to-man. Drops it now to Tremont Mark. Mark calling for a screen. Doesn't arrive, so he'll bounce the dribble around the left to the right. Pull-up jumper, no good off the rim. Offensive rebound, Jason Kent in trouble, and he's fouled. He's pushed from behind. That'll be the fourth foul of the second half. That foul is on Dante Maddox Jr., his first. Longhorns will inbound on the baseline with a fresh 20. 11.5 on the game clock, with Texas leading by 8, 62-54. Trey Johnson inbounds to Zarek Onyema. Zarek in some trouble, and now puts the ball on the floor as he's working against John Hughley. Left side of the lane, still working on him in the paint. Spins, turns, looks, turns again. Shoots with a left hand, was partially blocked and picked out of the air by Foster for Xavier. Into the front court for the Musketeers. He drops it off now to Dante Maddox. Maddox top of the arc to the left side. Three-pointer up. It's good. Marcus Foster hits it. The lead down to 5. 5 unanswered by the Musketeers. Under 11 to go. It's 62-57.
Well, Texas has answered the call each time that Xavier's made a run.
They're going to have to do it now. Here's Mark driving in. He missed the runner underneath. Offensive rebound, and Jason Kent is fouled. So Kent will go to the line to shoot 2. The foul is on John Hughley, his first. 15 foul, and now Jason Kent to the line.
But Jason Kent rebounds out of his area, and the one thing he does when the shot goes up, especially on the offensive end, he positions himself. You can see that. He got 10 the other night, but he just really does a good job. Great instincts.
Now can he hit the free throws? He's struggled from the line, as we know this year. Only 49% in conference play. A little bit better of late. Shooting 2, and the first one's good.
Yeah, good job, good start, good confidence builder in making that one.
Kendall Weaver checks out. And no, Kendall Weaver stays in, and good to see Caden Shedrick okay. He'll check in now for Zarek Onyema. Here's a second one for Jason Kent, trying to push the Texas lead back to 7 here with 10:47 to go. Second one for Jay Kent. Got it. Knocked both down. He has 6 points. Now Kent checks out, and Arthur Kaluma back on the floor for the Longhorns.
That's a bonus making those two for us.
64-57 Longhorns, 10:45 to go. McKnight with a bounce pass to Ryan Conwell. Now up top on the dribble. Driving down the lane and left virtually unguarded was Swain, but he missed the lay-in and went off the rim, and the rebound Texas.
Well, he did everything right but make the shot.
Into the front court is Tremont Mark. Mark to the right side on the dribble. Locates Arthur Kaluma on the left wing. Kaluma to Kendall Weaver. Top of the arc, Weaver looking toward Trey Johnson, gives it up now to Mark. Tremont, 10 on the shot clock. Started to dribble inside the arc, trying to go around traffic, called for steps. He was trying to lean his way around Marcus Foster and shuffle the feet, and it goes back to the Musketeers.
He does a good job of keeping his dribble and holding it and trying to get avenues or advantage, and at that time he just drug his feet.
64-57, 10-10 to go. Here's McKnight into the front court. Works it to the left side. Ryan Conwell now weaving back to McKnight. Driving, left side swing goes up. This time it was rejected and it went out of bounds. What a block by Caden Shedrick. Knocked it off of Dalen Swain out of bounds, and the Longhorns get it back.
Well, Swain's not going to shoot the three, and Texas is playing off of him, so he's driving to the bucket. He hadn't been successful in the last 2 attempts.
Swain checks out now. Jerome Hunter back on the floor for the Musketeers. We begin the second half of the second half. 9:59 to go. Texas up by 7 with the ball. 64-57. To the right side with it. Tremont Mark on the dribble. Coming off the screen. Trey Johnson driving through 2 defenders. Lost the ball going against the double team. Tried to pass it. And then McKnight on the dribble out to Foster. Thought about a quick 3, but arriving with defense was Kendall Weaver. Now Foster trying to drive in. Left side of the lane. Muscling his way in. In some trouble. Got rid of it to Freemantle. Freemantle trying to drive inside. Now to the left side. A three-pointer up. Good. Knocked down by Foster. 3 threes in the second half. The lead is down to 4 at 64-60.
Well, Freemantle turned down the 3 to hit it to Foster.
Foster's the guy they got to get on. He's hit 3 threes here in the second half. 64-60. To the right side, Trey Johnson. Trey holding up against Foster. Step back, shooting over Foster. A 3 is short off the front iron. Got his own rebound. Drives in. Goes up and drew the 4th foul on Freemantle. That'll be number 4 on Zach Freemantle. 2 free throws to come. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Live from Dayton, Ohio. This is the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield. First free throw for Trey Johnson is off the mark. And a strange night for Trey from the foul line. He is now 5 out of 8. He'll have 1 more. The second free throw is good. Trey with 19. Texas up 65-60 under 9 minutes to go. By the way, that foul was not on Freemantle. They called it on Davion McKnight. So Freemantle staying out there with 3 fouls. So it's a 5-point Longhorn lead with 8:50 to go. In the corner to Foster, and he is guarded a little tighter now. Bounce pass goes to Freemantle. Being fronted by Shedrick. Spins, turns with a jump hook, and rattles it in. And the lead is down to 3. Close as Xavier has been since the first half. It's 65-62.
Well, he shot that over his right shoulder with his left hand.
Longhorns in need of a bucket right now. They haven't had a field goal in over 4.5 minutes. To the right side. Here's Kaluma, shot fake on the 3, driving on McKnight, and then lost the dribble out of bounds. Another Texas turnover. The Longhorns committing their 10th turnover. Xavier with the ball. The Texas lead is down to 3. So the Musketeers have it now. To the right side with it is Swain trying to drive through some traffic in the corner. A 3-pointer up. It's good. Knocked down by Jerome Hunter, who's hit 3 threes. The game is tied at 65. On the dribble, Tremont Mark will bring it into the front court. And here's Trey Johnson on the right side. Johnson in some trouble, goes to Shedrick in the paint against Fremantle, goes up off the glass to score.
Good angle, good shot, may have got fouled.
First field goal for Texas in over 5 minutes. Xavier with the ball. Fremantle. Outside, Conwell a three. It is no good, but a foul. It hung on the rim, it fell off. The foul is going to be on Tremont Mark. And there's a timeout with 7:28 remaining in the ball game. NCAA tournament is supposed to be a situation of neutral floors. That's not the case here.
Trey Johnson left the floor.
All right, so Trey Johnson is left. We'll see what the situation is. Meanwhile, Texas is up 2, but Xavier with all the momentum right now. 7:28 remaining. It's Texas 67, Xavier 65. Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, where the thrills are bigger than ever. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa. Enjoy 36 holes of championship golf. Savor a world of dining experiences. Rest in one of our vast hotel towers and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
When faced with a disaster, the Cotton companies never fumble. As the trusted recovery partner of global businesses, Cotton is proud to provide property restoration, construction, roofing, temporary housing, culinary, and environmental support services. We're also restoring a long-standing Texas tradition as a proud partner of University of Texas Athletics and the official sponsor of the Lone Star Showdown. One call, one team. Total recovery. Learn more at cottoncompanies.com.
Jan from Toyota here. Feeling cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like hitching up the boat to a tundra for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
Live out your spring fantasies with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
7 minutes, 28 seconds to go. Tremont Mark picked up his first foul, but there's going to be 3 free throws coming for Ryan Conwell, with Texas leading by 2, 67-65, 7:28 to go. Also, as we mentioned, Trey Johnson went into the Texas locker room, not sure why, did not see anything, and there was no reviews or anything like that. Officials like would follow some contact that needed to be reviewed. It's nothing like that. I think Trey just had to go into the locker room for something related to his health. Xavier has not led this game since the 14:48 mark of the first half, but if Conwell converts all 3 free throws, the Musketeers will have their first lead since that point early in the ball game.
Well, that ball went the ball went down and out. It came out, went down and out, but man, he shot that with no space.
Longhorns have only hit one of their last 7 shots. That was the lay-in there by Caden Shedrick. Xavier's made its last 3 and 5 of its last 7. So Texas has cooled off here in the second half, and now is just at 53%. Xavier's at 56%. They've actually made one more shot than Texas and taken the exact same amount. So here is Ryan Conwell, 83%. He's hit 104 out of 126 free throws this year, and he'll be shooting 3. It's his first trip to the line tonight. The first one for Conwell is good. They'll have 2 more. This one would tie the score. Second one for Ryan Conwell. This one is off the rim. He'll have 1 more.
Craig, we got to spread the floor, move the ball, and really attack. We've done a good job of really forcing Xavier into different matchup situations.
Here's the third free throw. It's good. 2 out of 3 from Conwell. The game is tied for the first time since very early in the ball game. 67 all. 7:25 to go. Into the front court, Tremont Mark gives it up. Now Kendall Weaver has it. Weaver, Trey Johnson, okay. He's back on the floor. To the left side to Tremont Mark. Mark to the left side. Holds up, sends it to Shedder, who was grabbed from behind, and he'll be on the line for a 1-and-1. Let's see on whom this foul is called. It's on Fremantle, and that is Fremantle's 4th personal foul. 17 foul. Here's Caden Shedrick on the line, shooting 67%. He shot 65% in conference play. It'll be a 1-and-1. Fremantle checks out after picking up the 4th foul. John Hughley replaces him on the floor for the Musketeers.
That forces him out for about 2 or 3 minutes at least.
So here is Shedrick with a 1-and-1, trying to put Texas back in front with 7:10 to play in the ball game. Front end of the 1-and-1 for Caden is good. He was asked at the news conference yesterday about that 10 for 10 performance from the foul line against Texas A&M. He said, I've always been a better free throw shooter than what I've shown this year. It's been disappointing, but I feel it coming back around.
He sure did that day.
And did so even in the loss against Tennessee. He did a good job. Trying to get the bonus here, and he does. Caden with 9 points. Texas back up 2. 69-67. 7:07 to go. Into the front court, Davion McKnight. Swings it up top to Jerome Hunter. McKnight on the left side, guarded by Tremont Mark. Picks up the dribble. Now to Ryan Conwell. Flips it up to Hughley. Couple of dribbles. Drops it back now to the left side. McKnight double team. Got rid of it to Hughley. 10 on the shot clock. Hughley trying to drive into the paint. Throws it up off balance and missed it. And Caden Shedrick got the rebound and he's undercut. So he'll walk to the line for another 1-and-1. As James Breeding says, the foul is on Jerome Hunter. His first 8th team foul against the Musketeers. Little huddle for the Longhorns between the circles, and now Shedrick back on the line for another 1-and-1. Marcus Foster back on the floor for Xavier. Jerome Hunter checks out. So here's Shedrick back on the line for another 1-and-1 with 6:46 to go, and Texas up 2, 69-67. Front end of the 1-and-1 for Caden is good. He's in double figures now. Shedrick with 10 points to go with 5 rebounds. Now the bonus for Caden, trying to put the Longhorns back up 4. This one for Shedrick. Good. And Caden perfect from the line, 4 for 4. Texas up 4 with 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. It's 71-67 Longhorns. Hughley has it up top. Fremantle getting ready to check back in. McKnight to the left side. On the dribble, Conwell. Trying to work against Kendall Weaver to McKnight. Into the corner. Foster to shoot a 3. It's good! Trey Johnson tosses his head. He was pretty close to Foster, but not close enough. Foster with 4 threes in the second half. And the lead is 1. Here's Johnson trying to enter with a 3. He does! Trey knocks it down. And that's his 3rd made 3 of the second half. He has 22 points a game high. Texas back up 4, 74-70 as we tick down to 6 minutes remaining in the ballgame right now. Hughley shoots a 3. No good. I don't think they wanted that, but they got an offensive rebound out of it. Out to the left side. McKnight driving baseline, bounce pass into the corner. Foster driving through the paint, a runner, and it's good. Marcus Foster with 22. 2-point Texas lead, 5:40 to go. It's 74-72. Into the front court, Tremont Mark. Out between the circles to Trey Johnson coming off a screen. Now works to Caden Shedrick. Shedrick driving into the lane. Out front, Mark to fire up a 3. Short off the front iron. Rebound pulled down in the corner by Trey Johnson. Johnson whips it out front to Mark again. Tremont driving to the baseline. Dumps it underneath to Weaver. He missed it underneath. Too far underneath the basket. The rebound. Here comes Xavier looking to tie or take the lead. McKnight to Hughley. He'll shoot another 3. It's good. Hughley hits the three, and Xavier has its first lead since it was 10-9 with 14:48 to go in the first half. Hughley actually shoots the ball well, but he just hasn't taken many threes.
Exactly. He is 9 for 16 going into this game.
75-74. 4:45 to go. Here's Trey trying to answer with another three. Can't get that to go. Missed it off the front iron. Rebound Xavier. Down the floor. Swain will score. And he's fouled. Trey Johnson got him from behind. His second. That was a lightning fast 7-0 run for the Musketeers, and it could be 8-0 if Swain hits the foul shot. It was 74-70. They got a 2. Then Hughley the 3 to give them the lead, and now Swain trying for an old-fashioned three-point play. He's 0 for 3 from the line tonight, but he's normally an 83% free throw shooter. So he's trying to extend the Xavier lead to 4 points, and he does. This is the largest lead for the Musketeers. They're up 4 with 4:36 to go. 78-74.
Well, Swain's their best defensive player on the perimeter, and they're going to leave him in.
Into the front court, Tremont Mark. Mark to the left side with it. Between the legs on the dribble. Out to Arthur Kaluma. Shot fake on the 3. Back to Mark. Tremont driving into the paint. Squares up from there. Shoots and connects. So Tremont knocks it down. He has 14. Texas back within 2 with 4:10 to go at 78-76.
Well, he did a good job of keeping his shoulders square, eye on the target.
Longhorns need to get a defensive stop. Here's Conwell on the left wing. Out to Hughley. He's going to fire up another 3. No good off the rim. And the rebound, Tremont Mark. Into the front court for Texas. Tremont to a cutting. Kaluma down the lane, off the glass. No good. Tip off the mark as Cedric tried to get it to go and missed it.
Boy, had 2 looks at it.
And the rebound to Xavier. Musketeers with it. 3:40 to go. And a 78-76 Xavier lead. Hunter has it at the top of the arc. And a whistle and a timeout called by Sean Miller. He's going to ask for a full timeout here with 3:33 remaining in the ball game. Each team will have 2 timeouts. It's a full timeout. We'll take it as well. 3:33 to play in the ball game. The score is Xavier 78, Texas 76. Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
When the game goes into overtime, but the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Fly to Philly, take off to Tampa, depart for Denver. Following your team on the road is more rewarding with the American Airlines Advantage program. Your flights and everyday spend not only earn you miles toward your next trip, but also loyalty points toward Advantage status. All the more reason to purchase both a home and away jersey. With status comes great benefits like priority boarding, free check bags, and complimentary upgrades. Not a member? Enroll for free today at AA.com. American Airlines, you are why we fly. Terms and conditions apply.
It's better over here. After investing billions to light up our network, T-Mobile is America's largest 5G network. Plus, right now, you can switch, keep your phone, and we'll pay it off up to $800. See how you can save on every plan versus Verizon and AT&T at T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica.
Up to 4 lines via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device credit service ported 90+ states with device and eligible carrier and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months.
SeatGeek is now the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Texas Longhorns. Whether you're buying or selling tickets, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek, so Longhorn fans can fan. Well, there's baseball against the number 1 team in the country. LSU comes to UFC Udish-Falk Field to take on the Longhorn baseball team this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at UFC Udish-Falk Field. Softball, which has been at or near the top of the national polls throughout the season, will host Auburn this weekend at McCombs Field. And don't forget, Paul Simon in concert, April 8th, 10th, and 11th at Bass Concert Hall. Here, the Longhorns, led by as many as 13 in the ball game, and by as many as 11 in the second half. Now have given up the lead as Xavier's fought back for a 78-76 lead. When the Longhorns were up 10 at 62-52, they'd hit 5 of 8 shots to start the second half. Since then, they've only hit 3 of their last 13 right now. And so they've fallen off the level 50%. Xavier continues its hot shooting up to 56%. Longhorns still with the rebounding edge, but the turnovers have hurt. 10 turnovers have led to 16 Xavier points.
Exactly what I was going to say. The turnovers have led to that, and the fast breaks now they've got it fast breaks to 15 points.
Xavier with the basketball out of the timeout. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. 14 on the shot clock for the Musketeers. 3:33 on the game clock. Xavier up 2, 78-76. Inbounded to Zach Fremantle. Up top, as it's worked now to Jerome Hunter to the left side. Ryan Conwell trying to drive inside, can't do it, pulls it back out. Fremantle top of the arc, 3 to shoot, 2, 1. They're pulling it out, have to launch at the shot clock buzzer off the rim, no good. 3 Longhorns collide, but they pull it down. And Texas with the rebound. 3:10 to go.
It's a good defensive possession out of the timeout there.
Now they needed a good offensive possession to tie or retake the lead. Here's Weaver, top of the arc. To the right side, Kendall driving, spins, in traffic, get the ball knocked out of his hands. He got it back to Tremont Mark. 10 on the shot clock. Now to Jason Kent in the lane, off the glass for 2.
Great body control, getting that up on the glass and protecting the ball.
Game tied at 78. 2 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the ball game. To the right side with it. Driving, Conwell in traffic, throws it up, missed it. And the rebound, Caden Shedrick for the Longhorns. Texas with the ball, game tied at 78, 2:35 remaining. Into the front court. Tremont Mark glances quickly over to Rodney Terry for the offensive play call, picks up the dribble, sends it to Caden Shedrick. Back it goes to Mark. Tremont, 10 on the shot clock, 2:20 on the game clock. Mark looking inside, still on the dribble, working against McKnight. Shoots over him, a 3, short off the front of the rim, and the rebound to Xavier. I think both teams are getting tired, Eddie.
They are. They really are. You can tell it by their body language.
Into the front court is McKnight. Ticking down to 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Game tied at 78. To the left side, Davion McKnight. Sends it to Marcus Foster. Now drives, sends a bounce pass into Fremantle, working against Caden Shedrick. Turns, shoots, hit it on the turnaround. Fremantle now in double figures, 9.5, 11 for the ball game. And Xavier back in front, 80-78 with 1:40 to go.
You can't play any better defense than that. That's just a good fall-away jumper.
Here's a pass, and it's picked off. It was a foul. Trey Johnson will go to the line for a 1-and-1. Ball, when he passed, was hit. Fouls on Marcus Foster. Now, Trey Johnson, who's done a lot of things right tonight, but free throw shooting has been a mystery. He's only 6 out of 9. This is an 89% free throw shooter, and he's only 6 of 9 from the line tonight. And now he's got a 1-and-1 with 1:35 to play in the game, with Texas down to 80-78.
Well, he's the guy you want on the free throw line, although he has struggled tonight. That's struggling for him.
Here's the front end of the 1-and-1. It's good. We'll have one more looking to tie it. Here's the second one for Trey Johnson. This one on the way. It is no good. He missed it in the rebound. Pulled down by Xavier. 90 seconds to go. Xavier with the ball up a point at 80-79. At the top of the arc with it. Swain drops it now to Conwell. This is a big moment here. The Longhorns need a defensive stop. Swain inside the arc, 10 on the shot clock, backs it out. Now to Conwell, 7 to shoot. Conwell to the right side, picks it up and threw it out of bounds. They called a foul.
You're kidding me.
The foul was called on Caden Shedrick inside. That's his his third foul, but it's the 17th foul, and it's a 1-and-1 for Conwell.
They're wanting to review something.
Well, they are going to review. There was contact apparently in the lane. Rodney Terry asking James Breeding for an explanation on the contact.
You're always concerned when they review it, especially when it's against you.
Well, the Texas coach is visiting with the officials, talking to Terry Oglesby right now. But they are not showing the review here in the arena. And again, we were not provided with a television monitor, so no way to know. We'll just wait.
And they're wanting Terry Oakley to look at it now. They brought in another official. The longer it goes, the worse it could be.
109 remaining. I don't think they saw anything. They're still conferring. I think they're saying there was nothing but incidental contact. Yep. So they were looking at Caden.
Yeah, he was screening the guy from back, and the guy kind of flopped on it.
But now Zach Freemantle was going to the line, not Ryan Conwell. Freemantle, of course, he's good, 76%. And it's a 1-and-1 with 1:09 to go. And Xavier up a point, 80-79. So here's Freemantle with a 1-and-1. He's hit 86 out of 113 this year. Front end of the 1-and-1 is good. And we'll have one more. Xavier up 2, 1:09 to go.
Weaver's kind of giving a little conversation. Just say.
Here's the second one for Freemantle. It's good. He made them both. He scored 11 second-half points, and the Longhorns are down 3. 1:05 to play. Trey Johnson to bring it into the front court for Texas. Down to 1 minute remaining. Johnson with Weaver trying to supply a screen. Trey still on the dribble. At the top of the arc, now driving toward the hoop. A step back, 18-footer. No good. It rattled in and out. The rebound, Xavier. Johnson slow to get up. Longhorns have got to get a stop here. Here's McKnight into the front court. 40 seconds to go. Texas down 3. Conwell on the dribble against Kendall Weaver. And Rodney Terry telling him, don't foul. Now down to 10 to shoot, half a minute to go. They've got to have a stop. Here's Conwell to the right side. Sends it across the floor. Freemantle, a 3. Way too strong, but underneath the rebound put back by Swain. 19 seconds to go. Tremont Mark trying to drive out to Weaver. The Longhorns have got to get a shot. Weaver drives in, missed it, but he was fouled. But 10.5 to go. Swain there for the putback off just a really bad miss on the 3. He was Johnny on the spot and put it home. Foul was on Conwell, his 4th, but now not only did the Longhorns have to make both free throws, and Kendall Weaver this season was only 61% and only 50% in conference play, have to have both. And then they got to get a stop and probably have to foul. Here's Kendall. Shooting 2, first one good.
Well, that offensive rebound just landed in his lap.
He was in the perfect spot for it.
No doubt.
Weaver trying to pull Texas to within a point. Second one for Kendall is no good. Off the rim. Rebound, Xavier. They got a foul. They didn't foul. Time is going to run out. Conwell underneath. Freemantle slam dunk. Game over. The season will end. Heartbreak for the Longhorns. Outscored 8-2 in the final minute and a half of the game. And Xavier ends the Texas season with an 86-80 victory when the Longhorns had double-digit leads in the first half and the second half.
I thought they got a little tired at the end. Yeah, on both teams, but man, what a heartbreaker.
The season will end at 19.
Had the guts and the intestinal fortitude to pull out the victory in advance.
86-80 the final score for the Musketeers over Texas. Xavier trailed at halftime 47-39. The largest lead in the ballgame for Texas was 13 with 9:35 to go. Xavier got in the locker room, came out strong. To start the second half, Texas had a little bit of a run, but Xavier hung around.
Yeah, Joe, it was incredible, the resilience. Sean Miller, we're talking to him before the game, and I asked him, Coach, what is it about this team that has turned things around for you at the end of the season? And he said resilience, and that's exactly what we saw in this game.
Well, the final score, the Musketeers advance, knocking off Texas 86-80. This is Xavier basketball from Learfield on 700 WLW and the Varsity Network.
On the Xavier Sports Network from Learfield, Musketeer basketball has...
The National Weather Service in Wilmington issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for Warren